What is up, everybody? Renfail here. Hopefully, you're doing well. As I mentioned yesterday when I did my initial thoughts on things, it was during the live stream. I hadn't had a chance to sink my teeth into the announcement that was made yesterday. I have since had a little bit of time to look over things, and I'd like to just discuss a little bit more sort of my in-depth thoughts around the Game Pass changes that have come as a result of yesterday. So I think we'll talk about the Ultimate last. I said this yesterday. I have had an Ultimate subscription since I got my Xbox Game Series X, which was 3.5. I guess it'll be four. It's more than that. It's almost 4 years ago. I might even be 4 years in November or December. It's getting close up there. So I have always gotten my money's worth out of Game Pass Ultimate. But I do this for a living, and it is quite a bit different when you're doing this as someone who plays a lot of games as opposed to someone who doesn't play a lot of games. And I think that's where we're going to see these first two tiers having more of the value for the casual user, whereas that ultimate package is going to be mostly for the people who do this like I do or play a boatload of games. So let's just dive in for a minute. This is, by the way, this is part of the press release. I'll drop a link to it down in the description below. Um, Essentially, ignore all of the marketing because they're going to try to sell you on why this is its biggest upgrade yet and all these other things. And there are some really interesting aspects to this, some of which are very beneficial to gamers. I would argue that one of the things that is pretty awesome about this is going to be the fact that um, everybody gets access to PC games now as well. So it's not just Xbox games like Xbox Game Pass, it's Xbox and PC Game Pass games. So it's playable on PC, console, and cloud, $10 a month, unlimited cloud gaming, Riot Game benefits, which is great for the people who play the Riot games, the multiplayer access, and store rewards, which are not that big of a deal. The premium, you're getting a few more games. You're getting new Xbox titles within a year of launch, and then again, Riot benefits. The primary benefits I see between these two packages are going to be for people who want access to the PC Game Pass as well as the Xbox Game Pass. That gives you two different versions of games, two different game libraries essentially. And there is some crossover, but there are quite a few Xbox only games as well as quite a few PC only games, um, as an example. So I think, for example, PAX Die is coming to PC Game Pass in October, I believe. That is a PC exclusive. There is no console version of that game, as far as I'm aware of it. I could be wrong on that. Somebody's probably gonna jump in the comments and correct me if I am. But far as I'm aware, that is a PC only game. So that would be a good example of a game that previously would only have been available to the Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscribers because the Ultimate had PC and Xbox Game Pass included, but now you have PC games included, the two basic tiers. So that at first glance is a pretty cool deal. This has a lot to do with the new handheld that just got announced at Gamescom that's coming out. Is it this month or next month? It's pretty soon. Um, I'm not going to be getting one because I don't leave the office. I don't need a handheld. But if you remember the Rogue Ally, the big deal with that handheld, the two versions of that, is that you're going to be able to play your games across PC, Xbox, and all other libraries on this. It's essentially a handheld PC with access to Game Pass. So they're putting everything in one place and building this giant ecosystem. So that's at first glance, those are things that are pretty cool. Um, they're also, it's just one of those things where the Riot Games titles, which if you play a lot of Riot games, that's going to be beneficial to those players. I don't play a lot of Riot games, but if you do, that's something that is also of a benefit. So cool. But the big controversy here is obviously Game Pass Ultimate getting a price hike from, I think it's like 20. $22 a month right now, up to essentially $30 a month. That is a bit of a price hike. The only way you're going to get access to day one games is going to be via Ultimate. And then they are also continuing the tradition with the EA Play. We're also getting access to Ubisoft Plus Classics now, Fortnite Crew coming in November, and of course all the other stuff that you get access to. Um, so, yeah, the day one Game Pass games are pretty. That's a pretty big deal for me personally. We'll get to the other stuff here in a bit. The rewards, eh, I don't care about Fortnite personally. Ubisoft Plus Classics is kind of interesting because there are quite a few games in there that are big franchises, like the Ghost Recon stuff, the Assassin's Creed stuff. Um, so be able some of those you could already get access to, but they're adding more to it. Now, the Fortnite thing, I'm just kind of like meh about because I don't actually play any Fortnite stuff. But I did mention in my previous video that I think one of the things I'm really interested about is to see where that partnership with Epic Games is going to go long term. Now, for the average consumer, I don't think the Game Pass Ultimate is worth it. Um, and by average consumer, I'm looking at someone like my brother who might only play 2 or 3 new games per year because he doesn't have that much time. He will instead play a lot of stuff with his kids on like uh, the older consoles. He's got a range of stuff. He's got the Nintendo Switch. The kids have Nintendo Switches. He's got an old PS4. He's got his original Xboxes, and he's got an Xbox Series X. And he has had Game Pass up until this point. We have played things like Sea of Thieves together. We have played Grounded together. Those things we've done. But I think looking at someone like him, the ultimate is out of the there's no point in paying for ultimate if you are the average person who might only be playing 2 or 3 new games a year. Quick commercial break, everyone, to celebrate and give thanks to all of these amazing people who keep me on the air full time. Really appreciate the support. All you got to do is join as a member. You get access to private videos. You can also do super thanks on any upload or super chats and stickers on any live stream or premiere you see. And beyond that, don't forget we're multi-streaming over on Twitch now, so you can support over there as well. Thanks so much to everybody. Let's get back to the video at hand. Because that $30 a month price tag is going to be hard to swallow unless you're someone who takes advantage of all of the other stuff in there. So this is where I look at the ultimate subscription. I really do feel like this is targeted more towards people like me who are, I don't want to say rabid consumers of games, but my day job is streaming and content creation. And as I mentioned before, I've had a running subscription to Game Pass Ultimate now for almost 4 years, and I do play a lot of Xbox games and day one releases, like a lot. Like I was saying the other day, I would estimate 60 to 70% without going through my actual playlists. I would say 60 to 70% of the games that I play are on the Xbox, many of which are day one releases. So for someone like me who is playing 2, if not 3 Xbox games per month, um, that still holds its value even with the price bump, because if I had to pay for the new games at face value, if they're $70 or 80, let's say they're even $50 games. If I'm playing 2 new $50 games per month at $100 a month, that $30 price point still makes sense for me from a value perspective. Now, whether or not the rest of that makes sense, like the Fortnite stuff does no good for me. The EA Play, I have done some stuff with the EA Play stuff over the years. I have played some EA games. And the Ubisoft, I love Ubisoft games. I have nothing against Ubisoft games. I play a lot of Assassin's Creed. I've played Ghost Recon. We've played I love Star Wars Outlaws. I like the Division 1 and 2. We played some Division 2 a few months back. Looking forward to Division 3. I think that for me, I look at those things and I say, okay, I can see some of the value in that. But again, for me personally, the primary value in Game Pass Ultimate is coming from the day one Game Pass releases that I get access to and those Xbox exclusives, which aren't, they're few and far between these days because, Xbox has been making that shift towards ecosystem, and so there's not that many exclusives anymore. Um, but I do like, like the day one things, and we've played a lot of good games, even just in 2025, that have been Xbox Game Pass day one games. So I still see value in it for someone like me who's playing a few games per month on the Xbox. But for the average gamer who might only play two or three new games per year, man, that $30 a month price tag is really hard to swallow. And I think that that's going to be a challenge that Microsoft I don't know how they're going to get past that hump, to be honest with you. Um, Again, these two lower tiers, they have a lot of value in them. I don't think there's anything wrong with having the day one releases be locked to the highest tier. Um, Me coming in this, with a marketing background, I get the need for tiers. You want to have value for the various price points. You want to be able to provide a customized tier for all of your consumers so that everybody can sort of find what they're comfortable with. But at the same time, um, I think the value of any of these packages is largely going to be whether or not there's a big enough library of games at whatever tier it is that you're playing that's going to give you your money's worth. So that's going to be up to the individual consumer. It's going to be very interesting to see how PlayStation reacts to this, and what they do with their packages in the months and or years to come. So but for me, I don't see any reason to cancel my Xbox subscription. Like, I play a lot of Xbox day one games. We've got, as an example, Outer Worlds 2 coming up this month. This is my job. I mean, it's kind of like back when I ran a construction company, when gas prices go up, yeah, it sucks. But at the same time, buying gas for my truck is how I get from point A to point B. It's not like I just not buy gas. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where for me personally, it's just okay. I mean, interesting. I don't know yet, long term, uh, if there's any value in the added things that are coming to Ultimate for me personally. It's just a price hike, which kind of makes me grit my teeth and go, ugh. But at the same time, as long as I get value out of it and I can continue to expand my business across YouTube, Twitch, Kick, TikTok, Instagram, Blue Sky, Twitter, Patreon, Discord, etc. I mean, I love video games, so it's one of those things. I mean, video games have gone up in price every year since I started playing them back in the 80s, so it is what it is. That's the news as far as I can report it. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Like, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you never miss an update, and I will see everybody in the next one.